Hello everyone. Thank you for joining this session. Uh, Today, first we will cover the latest Bitcoin mining news, and then after that we will cover the crazy development which is happening right now for the Bitcoin mining, alongside some of the important concepts of Bitcoin mining. So let's get started. You might be seeing my screen, and in that you can see the latest news. The news is from Uzbekistan, and they are offering a full 10-year tax holiday for anyone who is doing Bitcoin or crypto mining. So, roughly, if I will give you an idea, like any companies like Mara or any other prominent companies which we might have discussed earlier, they might be paying 20 to 30% in taxes. Okay. So once they are saying full 10-year tax holiday, that means you don't need to pay any taxes for 10 years. There are some terms and condition in that, like they have to pay 1% of the revenue for the economic zone which they are building, but it's is still a very good opportunities for the companies who are already working on Bitcoin mining or wants to work on Bitcoin mining and looking for expanding in different countries, because 10-year tax holiday, and if they are coming on 20%, 30% tax slab, as most of the companies are coming, which is currently doing the Bitcoin mining, they can save 1/5 or 1/4 part of the earning and use it for the latest development and all those things. So this is also a good news, if I would say, for the Bitcoin mining perspective. And you might be aware, like right now, the Bitcoin 2026 conference is happening right now in Las Vegas, and there are so many announcements for computing, mining, and how they are making more optimal ASICs. So maybe once I will get more information about it, maybe we'll try to cover in the next session. But many crazy thing is happening there as well. And one of the most important topic which we are going to cover, that is uh, Tether has recently released the MDK, which is nothing but a mining development kit. There is a documentation also available, and I think soon that will be also available on GitHub. You can go there, mdk.tether.io. And you might be thinking, "Okay, what is this? I do not understand what is MDK, right?" So before discussing about this, maybe I will cover the basics so everyone will able to understand what is this mining development kit and how this thing will help. So think like this, like I'm a miner and I have three devices. I have one, maybe, okay, and two small one as well. Like let us suppose I have one Bitex. I have maybe Canon Nano 3S. I also have S21 Pro. I also have some high-end Canon hardware, and I might also have something from WhatsMiner. So all are different. So let us suppose you might be aware, like if you want to check how your Canon Nano 3S is working, you can download a Canon application in your mobile phone, connect your Nano 3S, and will able to access all those information about your Nano 3S. Same with uh, other vendors like WhatsMiner, AntMiner, and even for Bitex, like you can also do that. So the main problem was Like if you are purchasing the Bitcoin miners from different companies, there is no common way through which you can connect all those miners, see all those data in one dashboard, and able to communicate with them simultaneously. Okay. So earlier it was not even possible. So if you want to do that, you have to have either your customized dashboard software, like all the companies or the mining companies have that software right now, but you have to build it from scratch. Yeah, anyone has any question, any doubt here, feel free to ask. Yeah, otherwise, I will move ahead. So the problem was there was no such thing, like, because right now we are just talking about five miners, right? But for a company, let us suppose you are working for a company who is handling thousands of mining, and in thousands of mining rig, it might be having hundreds of miners. How you will, and it will never be possible like you will be using all the same miners there. So what you have to do there, either you will build your own dashboard, which is a very tough task, and it is not possible like you can do it single hand and you can connect everything. So this is not even possible. But few months ago, if you might be aware, like Brains comes with Brains dashboard. So if you come here, they have provided this Brains dashboard, which you can use and monitor uh, any of the miner which is running the rain OS. Okay, so there is some terms and condition here. So you can use Brain dashboards, which is now available, but for that you have to run Brains OS in all the hardware. Then only you will connect them through Brains dashboard. So think like this: like you are running Bitex, you are not running Brains OS there, so you cannot able to monitor and control those hardware through Brains dashboard. Okay, so what Tether open source is the whole development kit. Through that, you can make your own dashboard easily because there is a development kit already available. You just need to use the APIs and should make a dashboard. And through that, you can communicate with Antminer, which is running Antminer OS. You can connect with Canon, which is running proprietary OS, which is different from Antminer, and you can also connect WhatsMiner and other as well. Okay, so this was not available till now freely. So after coming mining development kit, you can also find the documentation here. You will able to create a dashboard or the infrastructure. Through that you can able to monitor all the Bitcoin hardware irrespective of what OS they are running, not just like Brains. Like you don't need to run Brains OS to connect with the dashboard, and even this is proprietary, you can't customize it. And as far as I'm aware of, like Brain dashboard is not open source, and you just need to use their own proprietary internal dashboard, and you never know what they are doing internally. If you are building your own using MDK, then you don't need to worry because everything is open source and you can create UI kit, you can use the UI kit and all those things, and you will able to communicate with all the miners when I'm saying all the miners, so all the most popular miners they support because they are also using this internally for their mining farm from so many years. So earlier it was not open source. They were using their proprietary, but now they have done some part as a open source. So people can also able to use it. Okay. So yeah, this is also a very good thing. Like if let us suppose one of the hobbyists you have created some type of customized mining hardware rig, you want to use something, you can make your own software using the MDK and maybe some AI cloud tools, and maybe you will be able to make it in few months as well or few days. No one knows. So yeah, any questions so far to hear for this? I think in the next few days or few months, they will be also open sourcing the mining operating system. I'm not sure, but as they have already announced, I am hoping they will be also open sourcing that as well soon. So that is different from MDK. So maybe mining operating system we will cover it in the next session once they will fully open source. MDK is just for monitoring and these purposes. You can control your hardware, you can monitor it, you can change the temperature, turn it off, change the ASIC frequency, some of the limited things you can do. Mining OS, maybe because right now I'm not sure how much they are going to open source it, but in that, like you can use any dynamic miner and can run these kind of OS on top of it. Okay, so for that purpose, maybe also they will release that, but we will cover it later. Right now, we have just covered the MDK. That is a very good thing. It is like open source mining infrastructure. So if on top of the ASIC machine, because mining is thus not about doing running the ASICs and making sure it is running 24 plus 7 because you have to take so much parameter in consideration. And if you are using immersion cooling, then you need to make sure you are operating your miners very efficiently. Okay. So I believe this is a massive shift from software control. Through that, you can able to control all the hardware design, even if they are running a different kind of operating system. So that is also one of the news. The third, if you might be aware, the company name Soluna. I'm not sure you might have heard it or not. So there are two companies, Soluna and SAS Mining. So they had a partnership, and what they are doing, like they are planning to use Bitcoin miner as a service. Like they might be having some off grid, and in that, based on the demand, they are using Bitcoin mining as a load balancer. So if there are huge supply, they will be running some miner in. So first thing is, okay, let me check if I can find the news. Yes, that is the partnership news. So what they are doing is because see they are using wind energy, so that is a renewable energy. But as a load balancer here, they are going to use Bitcoin mining. So let us suppose uh, they are generating uh, 100 megawatt, okay, and the consumption is only 95 megawatt. So 5 megawatt or whatever is there, they will try to utilize those for Bitcoin mining. So that will work as a load balancer. Means let us suppose the consumption is 150 megawatt, then they will turn off the miners for the time being. But if consumption is not there, because they are using off-grid model, so the consumption will not be the same 24 cross 7. Like maybe you might have more consumption on weekend, maybe on few days, maybe at night the consumption is not that high and all those things. So if the consumption is not there, they will use Bitcoin mining and they are going to sell it as a mining as a service. Like you might have heard about everywhere we call it software as a service, SaaS, right? Here it is mining as a service means you can pay them, use those mining, and whatever uh, the payout will come. The payout, once I'm saying, I'm talking about the coin base. Okay, means let me. Uh, I believe some of them are already aware of that, but if uh, okay, let me see. Yes. So okay, so let us suppose Spider tool has mined recently. Okay, 1 second. Mhm. I think it will take some time to load. Sure. So you can see this is the Coinbase, the newly generated coin. So whatever the rewards you will be getting, that is the newly generated coins. So if they are doing Bitcoin mining, that means the newly generated coins will get received as a reward and they will be distributing those to the client who are using mining as a service there in those renewable energy sources area. Okay, so they are going to plan mining as a service where like you are paying for the hardware and mining, and based on the load balancer whatever they are going to generate, those Coinbase sats, they will be giving you directly to your wallet payouts. So that will be non KYC BTC or fresh Coinbase BTC. Okay. Then apart from that, we have also seen that people are moving towards AI, right? We have covered in the last session. But there are few companies who hits the new top spot for the Bitcoin mining, just like BitDeer. So BitDeer last week have covered, I think, uh, 70 it has. Let me search it. Yes. So they is now able to achieve more than 70 eta hash. That is also like I'm seeing people are moving towards AI, but few of the companies are still updating their hardware and reaching the next milestone in self-mining operation itself. So few companies are moving towards AI, but few companies are still focusing on Bitcoin mining because if you will see right now in late April, Bitcoin hash price reached something about $37 per petahash. Okay. And if you're calculating previously, so the profitability is increasing in April because you can say that the Bitcoin mining price is also little going up. That's why. So if you're calculating everything in late April, mining profitability is getting increased. So even some people who are not running miners in full efficiency, they might have already started. And Because of that, I'm pretty sure that difficulty will get increased. If right now it is showing it will get decreased, but if people will start doing mining in full efficiency, I think very soon it will be in positive and difficulty adjustment would be there if everything will goes well. So yes, the profitability is increasing little bit, and the broader term, once we talk about everything else, because we have covered the Uzbekistan tax, 10 years tax redemption. That is also, I'm still, I need to still calculate, but I'm just thinking that many of the US companies, which is currently running in Texas and all those things, definitely if they may move some of the hardware till to Uzbekistan if everything goes well. Because see, the price is the secondary because everyone wants stability once they are running the business. So I'm not sure how stable Uzbekistan would be, but as they are making this mining zone or special mining zone, and the 10-year time frame is also huge, many companies will start moving their hardware maybe because they will be saving 20 to 30%. That is a huge margin here. So let's see, we will see it because they have just announced it. I think they will be doing uh, more about it, and we will see how many companies are interested to move their hardware to Uzbekistan. Okay, so now moving back, and we have covered about MDK. We have also seen in Bitcoin event, which is currently running, I think 28th or 29th is the last date for Bitcoin event Las Vegas. Then maybe I will see what are the announcement has been done for AI and mining hardware, and maybe we'll try to cover it in the next session. And the second most important thing after Tether launches MDK, there is a company named LuxOS. It is not very popular in the mining, but uh, see, Brains is the very popular one, and there are a few more. LuxOS is also popular, but not that much popular. But what they are doing right now, they are collaborating with WhatsMiner, and they are making this LuxOS firmware all the WhatsMiner M50 series. So let me show you. So WhatsMiner has, okay, let What's so WhatsMiner has the popular series, and the recent launch was the M50 series as well. So if you will see this, these are the M50 series. So what LuxOS is doing, LuxOS is doing the partnership with WhatsMiner. Because see, the problem is in the business, there are three main companies right now. Okay, so here we can see that. So WhatsMiner, Canon, and this is Antminer. Canon is struggling. Antminer is WhatsMiner is doing better. Like Antminer is doing the one of the best, and WhatsMiner is doing in the second best, I would say. And then Canon is also doing okay. Canon is doing well on home mining. So let us suppose if you want to purchase home mining equipment, maybe Canon associates you can use. Now, why WhatsMiner is doing collaboration with LuxOS? because WhatsMiner tried their best, and unfortunately, right now, uh, WhatsMiner is a very WhatsMiner is making very good miners. Like I have used it, the frequency and all those things they are using is very advanced. Like in Antminer, if two devices or two chips are communicating in 5 megabits per second, in WhatsMiner it might be communicating with 20 megabits per second, 4 times faster. Okay, but the problem is efficiency. Right now, no one in the market right now who is able to beat the Antminer ASIC efficiency at the moment. WhatsMiner is trying their best, but right now, no. And the bad part of the Antminer is their software. Their software sucks sometimes. Like you will not able to achieve like even if you're running BrainsOS, you will able to achieve better performance from the Antminer. Antminer, Canon, WhatsMiner are the miner machines provider. Okay, so WhatsMiner is collaborating with LuxOS because they are doing well in somewhere, and WhatsMiner is trying their best on hardware. They just want to combine both of them and see whether they are able to beat Antminer or not. So recently, they announced the partnership, and LuxOS will provide the firmware for the WhatsMiner. This is not sure, like ideally, what would be the policy, the terms and condition, and the warranty. But as they are doing the official partnership, it's maybe like they will in future maybe uh, they will give options. You can put LuxOS or you can use the inbuilt one as well. So this is also good. In that firmware, there are few companies which is also using this LuxOS. Like in Mara, some of the mining firm they are using LuxOS, and Luxor, yes, you can also download it and run it on Antminer machines. But if you download and run it, and if anything goes wrong, you have to move it back to the proprietary OS. Otherwise, your warranty will get void. Okay, so that is the problem. But if they are doing official partnership, maybe this will not happen with WhatsMiner case. But this is the latest news right now. We will see how things are happening here. Okay. So we have covered about Tether MDK. We have covered about the LuxOS partnership. We have also covered about how Uzbekistan is making the spatial mining zone. We have also seen the profitability is also a little bit increasing. And there are some new announcement about renewable energy sources, grid resilience, and mining hardware in Bitcoin 2026 conference. Now, move it back. Many people have asked me in the last session after that, pinged me like, explain how Bitcoin mining works in a very simple terms. Like in 5-10 minutes, I can just tell you a very basic, so you can at least able to understand what is mining and how people are getting benefit of it. So let me open a notepad for a second. Okay, let me see if the font is bigger. Okay, so mining is the proof of work required to show you the correct linked hash signature of a previous block and current block, which you validate the whether it is legit and it is ha- or it is having all the legit transactions. So what mining is like, you have a ledger. So the block is a page in the Bitcoin ledger. It will always contains two parts. One is header, or I should call it as a block header, which will have version, previous hash, or should I write it block hash. So this is the header which is having the version. So once I'm saying version, what is this? Software version of the Bitcoin network. As we have seen mempool.space, so in this you are seeing, so this is the Bitcoin mining in a simple term. So mining is the proof of work, shows you correctly the linked hash signature of previous blocks. And the current block is this, in which you are adding the transaction, and you will make sure it is legit, and you want to put all those transaction in a new block that will link to the blockchain, and the signature of that, or the hash value, should be equal or less than a required target number. So you will do the hash. So once I'm saying hash, because I believe you are aware of SHA-256, in which whatever input you are giving, it will always give you 256 bit of string. Okay. So the function, whatever input you are giving it, whether it is a small, large, or any amount of text you are passing here in the SHA-256 hashing function, it will always give you 256 bit of string. The same way, what you have to do is you have to create a block. So block has a block header. Block header has a version. Previous block has timestamp, which is the current timestamp. Means let us suppose it's 8:39 p.m. So this is the timestamp. The target means the specific difficulty requirement the miner is trying to beat. That is the target. Nonce, which we covered last time, number used once. The random variable number, which you can change it to get a final hash output. And the most important thing, the Merkle root. And Merkle root is the single 256-bit hash that summarize every single transaction inside the block body, because the body will contain all the transactions. So this is the header, and you have a number of transactions. So let us suppose you have four transactions. Okay. So A, B, C, D. Ideally, you will be having so many. You can see so many number of transactions. But for simplicity, because I remember Rajiv has asked this question few days ago, that if they are changing this transaction, how these things would get changed. So Merkle root will get changed. And in this, how this thing happen? Like, see, there are multiple ways you can use this transaction, right? So you can have A, B, C, D. You will do hash A and B together, you will get AB, and then you will do the hash of CD. And whatever you do, you will create a final hash, and that will be the Merkle root. Okay. Now, if you will change any of the transaction, because anything in the is like you're using sort of statistic function inside that, any small minute change you made, the whole hash will get changed. So here, if any transaction you will tweak, the whole hash, some Merkle root will get changed and the whole hash will get changed. Here, if you change the nonce, the whole block header, and once you do the hash, it will also get changed. Okay. So this way, you will start making hit and trial, hit and trial, hit and trial until or unless you reach the difficulty criteria. And if you reach, then you have a valid block. You will not get the reward. You just have a valid block. How you will get the reward? Now, if you have a valid block, you can add your rewards in that and start broadcasting into the chain. So you add that reward as a coin-based transaction. After that, you broadcast it. Every other node will also verify it. And if you are the first one and able to broadcast it, then you, because that will be the part of the blockchain and the reward will be on your name. Okay. So this is the very simple, basic way you understand the Bitcoin mining. Okay. What are the things we need? We need miners and you need mining pool. That's it. It could be solo mining pool. It could be any centralized mining pool. They will give you some task. You have to do that. If you are able to find a valid block, you will receive the reward in case of solo mining. If you are doing centralized mining pool, even if you find a valid block, you will not receive the whole reward. The reward will be distributed among everyone who is contributing in this mining pool, and the contribution will happen based on the hash rate you are contributing into the mining pool. Okay. So yeah, anyone has any question till here regarding MDK?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
please
I
go ahead.
do.
Yes.
I do. Thank you. So I wanted to just for some clarifications. So I understand that based on the parameters of the component of each block, which is the version, the timestamp, the target, the
Mm-hmm.
nonce, and the Miku root. Now, the Miku root is for all the all the transactions that have happened previously is inside the McQ roads. I don't know whether that is correct. And then it's always at 256 bits. Now, my question now is this. You need to, when you are trying to mine a block, given the difficulty threshold, you need
Mm-hmm.
to take the previous hash and
Mm-hmm.
then hash it together with, uh, say you selected some transactions from the main pool, hash it together, and
Mm-hmm.
then you start hashing. The the speed of getting the accepted hash that's below the threshold depends on your hash rate. So I want you to like explain that process of trying to get the previous hash, hashing it with the current block that you want to mine, and then
Mm-hmm.
the hash rate, and then the threshold and the difficulty, just a kind of a summary, so that it is more clear to me. And then also I also want to know. I know you have talked about it before, but how somebody can join a mining pool to contribute hash to that. What it is, say me, I have some fund and I want to like invest in mining pool. How to go about it? Just a kind of clarity. Thank you.
Sure. So, okay, so for your recent question, like how you can join the mining pool, first you have to decide whether you want to join a centralized type of mining pool or solo mining pool. Okay. So let us suppose you want to join a centralized mining pool. What you have to do is you can go to any website which is providing uh, the mining services, and you have to set some parameters. So maybe I can give you an example of solo mining pool right now. And maybe later I can also give you, maybe in the next session, I will also give you how you can. That is more or less same. Okay. So let us suppose you have decided you want to do Bitcoin mining, and for maybe you have purchased a BitX, okay, BitX Gamma, maybe the smaller one like this, $80 or a smaller machine, and you want to join the CK pool. So what I can directly go to the CK pool. I don't want to see the status right now, so I will go to the CK pool. Okay, so solocpool.org. Now I have to, the second thing is I have to see which region I'm going to mine. So whether I'm from Europe, Africa, if I'm from Europe and Africa, I would use solo.ckpool.org. So I will move there. If I'm from US, then maybe I don't need to move to this. I will start using this website. Let us suppose I'm from Australia, I would go there. Okay, so right now I'm assuming like if let us suppose we are from Europe or Africa, we just need to go to here. This is the EU solo ckpool.org. You can come here. You just need to set some parameter in your miner. So the machine which you are running, when I'm saying machine, that BitX, you just need to set this thing there, okay? And then you have to tell the username and the password, okay? So you just need to point your miner to this, and the username should be your wallet address or your Bitcoin address, okay? And after that, you are seeing dot zero, okay? So what does it mean? So I can, let me show the status. Let me see if I can, so I can show you. let me see if I can. Okay, so let me see if I can. No, I cannot copy there. Okay, so this is the Bitcoin address. Okay, so if if you have someone address, you can put it here and you can see how many workers they are running. Okay, so let us suppose now you may say that I have two devices. So okay, what you have to do is I'm just explaining it again. This thing you have to do, just point your miner to eusolo.ckpool.org and this, and in every miner you will get a place where you have to do the configuration, and there you have to just put this, and then they will also ask, so they will ask for pool, they will ask for port, they will ask for username, they will ask for password. Okay, so these are the four things generally. Every miner might have a different UI, but more or less they will be asking for these things. So you have to put the pool as this, port as this, username should be your wallet address, because in that only if you are able to mine a block, you will get your reward into that address. And you might be thinking, what is dot zero? So here, like, let us suppose I have three machines. So I can make naming like this, worker one, uh, worker two. So this is, let us suppose, my Bitcoin address, and this is the worker. So same Bitcoin address I want to use, and I just making sure I can differentiate the two devices. So I can see, okay, which one is contributing how much. So that will be easy for monitoring purpose. So this is a very basic thing, and if you do this, you will able to start mining. How you will verify it? So you just need to search your, you just need to come here in solo status ckpool.org. Just enter your Bitcoin address, search it, and if you are contributing to ckpool.org, you will able to see how many workers are running. So that you will be able to find it out. Okay. And second thing is like, yes, you don't need to search here, because if you are using EU solo CK pool, you just need to make sure you are using EU CK or for solo status. Okay. So that is the answer for how we can connect the miner to the mining pool. Do you have any question or this is clear?
It's clear. Thank you. It's clear.
Okay. And regarding how mining works in detail, yes, I have covered very basic of it, but okay, so you have asked one question regarding Merkle root, if I remember correctly. So Merkle root is the single 256 hash of all the transaction which is inside the body. Means the Merkle root would be uh, one second, these transactions. So let us suppose you are making a block and you are including all those transactions. So the hash would be the Merkle root. And how step by step this thing would work? Maybe what I will do, I will prepare a session in that maybe I explain manually, like, okay, let's suppose this is a block, these are the transaction, how the hash function is called, getting called, what you received, and whether it is having the target value or not. So maybe definitely give me some time. I will schedule a session, and in that I will cover in detail by taking an example. So at least right now you at least get a basic idea, like what are the things are in the block header and what are the things in the block, and how the mining mix works in a very high level. I'm not saying like you will understand everything, but in the next session, I will schedule it very soon. And in that, I will take an example. Like let us suppose timestamp is 8:55 p.m. Target is this. Nonce, I'm choosing one. And then I will do the hash in front of you by using sort of this function, and will show you the hash and will tell you whether it is a valid block or not. So then maybe you will get a better understanding. So I just need your patience, and maybe I will try to cover that thing in very detail soon. Any other question or any other thing? Anyone has any doubts or anything? Please feel free to ask. If not, we will be good for the day.